Tell me the story of the birthday party.
Well, the birthday party were first the boys next door, which were basically we were all at school together.
Same members?
Yes, and in the boys next door to begin with, and we were essentially a Alice Cooper, Alex Harvey band, cover band. I think we did 80% of our repertoire was just Alex Harvey band songs, who remains one of my great heroes.
Was Alex Harvey popular in Australia?
No, not at all.
We just sort of an underground artist everywhere.
Randomly fell on his records, and you know, we living in Australia don't know anything about the rest of the world. And Alex Harvey, his vocal style is the most eccentric thing you've ever heard. And as an Australian, I could barely understand a word he was saying, and didn't realise that was like a Glaswegian accent.
Yeah.
But his singing style is so bizarre, and his lyric writing is just off the planet. This guy is like, as a lyric writer, is in pure inventiveness, is just off the charts. Anyway, the first song we ever played, which was at a Battle of the Bands thing, was an Alex Harvey band song. So that's what we were, and then I started to write songs, and they weren't very good, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do or who I was, so these songs were highly influenced by whatever was going on at the time. The first recordings of the Boys Next Door, what happened with that was we were just a band that played in small clubs, and the record industry heard about this thing called punk rock, right, that was happening over in England. And it sent a couple of, Gadinsky and these sort of big players in the Australian music scene into a bit of a kind of tiz. And they sent out this man called Barry Earl to collect up whatever bands could sort of pass as a punk rock band in Australia at the time, which were very few, actually.
Did you think of yourself as a punk rock band?
No, but those influences, we'd moved away from...
Post-punk?
We were, into all that stuff, MC5,
mm-hmm.
the Stooges and stuff. Thing called power pop happened, right? Do you remember that?
Yeah, like Buzzcocks, for example.
Yeah, whatever. And suddenly Gadinsky and these characters heard that punk was out and power pop was in. I mean, this was as kind of absurd as the whole thing was. We were brought into Barry Earl's office, and he's like, "Gentlemen, punk's out, power pop's in." And he had all these sketches of the clothes he wanted us to wear, and like Tracy Pugh was supposed to wear a kind of leopard skin tights, and I had this, and that was the point where we just sort of walked out in despair. But we got put into the studio at this time with a guy from an Australian band called Skyhooks, Greg McCainch, and his brief was to turn us into a pop band. And so we recorded half the first Boys Next Door record in that way. And part of that was to double up all my vocals, like old
track,
school,
yeah.
to get whatever. I don't know what the reason for doing that is. You might know that.
It makes it more about the melody than the words.
Okay. Well, so if you listen to we had a song called Masturbation Generation. If you listen to that, it's kind of, who says that I'm living in the... It's like that. And I remember having to sing that so I could copy it and stuff like that. It was a complete joke, right?
How old were you at that time?
God, I don't know, like 18 or something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But there was another band that was going around that had this guitarist in it, Rowland Howard, and he was like an amazingly interesting, inventive, brilliant musician who had an idea of his sound. He had an actual idea. He was like one of these people that had dropped from Mars, who just, like the Ramones or something like that just appeared complete in every possible way. He was like that. He knew exactly who he liked and who he didn't like. And we brought him into the Boys Next Door, and he changed the fortune of the Boys Next Door. He changed the sound dramatically, turned us from a kind of middling, confused band into something that was starting to make interesting music. And then we became the Birthday Party, same members, but we just changed our name when we left Australia and went to London. And he brought a kind of, you can hear it on the record. The first half of the record, first side of the record is without him. The second side is with him, and it's a whole different ball game. So